Nice. I am here live with Lindsay and Katie from Primrose Cottage Stitchery. I think we're echoing a little bit.
Yeah.
So we're going to fix that. We're going to do like a fun trunk show and introduce a new company to you. I got to meet them at Needlework Market. And so I think it'll be fun to like meet some new stitchers and get to see kind of the stuff that they stitch. So welcome.
Hi. Morning. We're really excited to be here.
Yep.
So tell me a little bit about your company. It's like your mom and then 4 sisters.
Yeah, so my mom and I, we originally started actually long arm quilting, and we quilted for other quilters.
Okay.
And we didn't start cross stitching. Well, my mom cross stitched, 30 years ago. She's been a cross stitcher for a long time, but when COVID started, it really caught my interest, and I kept seeing like quilters posting cross stitch things, and I was like, oh, I want to like start doing this. And we slowly brought in every sister. So I am the 3rd sister.
I'm the oldest.
This is Katie. She's the oldest. And then Jessie, she's the 2nd, and she lives up north. So, and she also cross stitches as well. And then Emily, you probably see her a lot. She does a lot with our Instagram page, and she also cross stitches. So that's how we got started, and it's just been snowballing, and we've been having so much fun.
So we've been doing the cross stitch for about 2 years, and needlework, the Nashville, that was our first time going to that show, and so that was our first time meeting you too, and so it's been it's been like going like wildfire. It's been a lot of fun.
Mm-hmm.
So do you want to show, let's do like a little trunk show and show everybody some of your designs. And all the designs can be found at fatquartershop.com. They are paper patterns, and they're all in full color, and they are on like professionally printed, so they're on really nice paper, so they last longer than some.
All right, so first we're going to start with our Nashville Needlework exclusive that we did, and it's the high rolls. And so we'll come closer too, but
so
let's
pretty.
see, which way do I need to move this?
It looks
This
good.
way?
You could go a little bit
Okay.
closer.
Yeah. Okay.
Yes, right
So
there. So pretty. So tell us the name of the chart.
Okay, so hive rolls. I designed this. I have a few other patterns that are in the rolls theme, and we have another one to show after this. We stitched it on 25 count white Lugana, and it's all DMC floss. And then the paddle that we finished it on, my dad hand carved this paddle for me. It's made out of walnut wood, and here's the top. So it's a nice long paddle, and he has made a few of these, and they're just really cool because they're hand carved.
Yeah, and then you can just set your piece right in it.
Okay. Yeah, it just sets right in.
And then
There is a bonus chart in the booklet. This is a booklet. There's pages because it is a larger chart. And Welcome to Our Hive is the bonus chart.
Okay.
So, and the stitch count on that is 70 by 274. So, and then going with the rules theme, we have 2 other ones. The other one we're showing today is autumn rules. So this is autumn rolls. We stitched this on 25 count vintage country mocha, and we do 2 threads over 2 on the Luganas, and then it's DMC floss for this as well. And the stitch count is 67 by 269. I really enjoyed designing this piece. It's really fun. I love autumn. And the great thing about the rules, you can easily like take a section out and make like a small. So visit the pumpkin patch. We did a small pillow with some trim.
So cute.
Oh, we didn't finish the back yet. We do. Let me show. I can show. We like to finish like the Lori Holt. She did a tutorial with the felt. So generally we do that, but I didn't realize that one wasn't finished. So those are our rules. And then Christmas rolls we didn't have here, but it is the same, like it's a long piece, and this one you can break up into sections as well. And I do have a little pillow. I stitched this one last year, and I just took one of the words, actually, it's not even a complete section, and did a small little pillow. So.
Cute.
Yeah.
And so are you going to continue to add to the rules, like that series?
Yes.
Okay.
We get requests all the time, so let us know like what you guys would like to see. Yeah, we had some people at Nashville, they wanted like beach rolls and Halloween rolls and
Could do like
Easter.
a sewing room rules.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, we got those as well.
Yeah.
So we are going to add to it.
Okay,
So.
that sounds great.
And then part of the B series is the Be Nice or Buzz Off. So this one is a really fun stitch. We got a lot of comments on this one at Nashville. It's just a fun little saying, and so we did finish it with some rickrack trim and then made it into just a pillow.
Yeah, and that looks like Lori Holt fabric. I think that's Lori Holt fabric, maybe.
This one is actually, we have used the Lori Holt in some of them, the cross stitch fabric, the X's. This one is a Lella Boutique.
Oh,
it's like
okay, yeah.
the tiny hearts from
okay.
Love Notes. And that color, it just matches perfectly. It's so cute. So. All right, so then part of the other one from the B series is ABC. And this was my kind of take on, sorry.
It looks good.
Okay. On a sampler that I might stitch, because I tend to like smaller stitches. Those huge samplers are kind of daunting for me. And somebody had asked me about some wording I did, lettering I did, and wanted an alphabet, and I never had thought to do one, and so I incorporated it into a B kind of sampler. So
It's so cute.
this one was really fun to design. All right, you can take that one. Sorry, we have a lot of mine at first and then Katie's. Kind words are like honey, sweet to the soul. This is probably one of our most popular ones because it's just a fun little saying. We did all of these on 25 count white, although we have seen people stitch them on like a bluish gray, I believe. Country Rain, was it called?
There was the
Country
Rain.
French.
Yes.
Yeah.
Somebody had stitched one on there and it looked gorgeous on the linen. I'm actually stitching some of them on 32 count light taupe, and it is really pretty too. So, and then yeah, we just finished the backs with
So cute.
some wool or felt. And then the last two are the Be Happy and Bumblebee Kisses. And so another pillow finish. These are just
We like to do the pillows. Like, they're so inexpensive to make, and they're really fun, and you can put them in a hutch or a tier tray or wherever you want.
And we have noticed people breaking this one up as well. just doing the sections and putting them on smalls for their tiered trays or just in their hutch or a tray. Yeah. So that is all the bee stitches that we have.
Yeah. So now I have my Hello series. So this one is Hello Spring. Oh, I'm showing you the pattern. Sorry. Let's see the actual sample. So here's that. It's kind of hard to see. So this was stitched on the 20, actually, was this 28? Oh, this is 25 count white. So, and we finished that one into a pillow as well. And then I have Hello Summer.
Okay, so go to your right a little bit.
Yeah.
Yeah, there you go.
It's like
The other way.
backwards,
Yeah.
and so it's so.
No,
like,
the other way.
Which way
There.
should I
Yeah,
go?
right there.
It's hard because I'm like delayed on
Yeah.
this side.
Right there.
So I'm like, which way do I turn it? Okay. So I stitched this on 14 count Icelandic gray. So, and you'll see with a lot of our models, we do like to stitch on pretty much everything. The only thing we haven't really stitched on is linen. That's kind of daunting. I have never tried it.
Yeah,
So,
it is. Yeah.
But it's all, I think all fabric is fun. So how should I turn this? Okay, so here's Hello Autumn.
Those are
And
so cute.
they're really fun, and they're just small and simple, and it's something you could stitch up easily in a day. So this is 28 count wheat Lugana.
And so
And they're all DMC.
and you
Yeah.
list the fabric that you use on the back of your pattern.
Yes.
Yeah, so it's easy for everybody to do exactly what y'all do.
Yeah. Yep. There's that. And then I have Hello Santa.
Oh, that's so cute.
Do I need to move? I'm sorry, I can't tell which way
So
I
just
need
go
to
in between y'all. Right? Keep going the other way. Right there.
So it's like
Sorry.
our camera is like
It's
flipped
it's
almost.
like off
Yeah.
and I'm delayed.
Yeah, it's backwards.
This is 25 count vintage country mocha, and the color is not like really doing justice on the camera because it is a little darker, but I just love vintage country mocha. You'll see we do a lot of stuff on that. And this one's really fun. It's only 3 floss. So, and it's all DMC.
So on all of your
that's
charts, do you list just DMC?
Yes, we generally just list the floss we use. So if we did use overdyed floss, we just list the overdyed floss. And at the DMC, we just list the DMC.
And then a lot of people are asking on your pillows, there's a lot of that pom-pom trim. Do y'all get that at Joann's?
Hobby Lobby,
Okay.
Joann's, just like any craft store. And Mom actually did a fun tutorial on how to add the pom-pom trim on the pillows. She's kind of got it down to a science at this point because she does them all for us. So
That's awesome.
And I don't really sew or quilt. Like I'm just learning, and I have followed it and made some of my own. So it's really easy to follow if
And-
you are just a beginner.
And tell everybody where they can find that video.
it's on our YouTube channel, Primrose Cottage Quilts.
Okay, awesome.
And we have a few pillow finishing videos that we've done, but a lot of people love the pom-pom trim. It just adds a fun little touch to the pillows. So, all right. So next up, this was another Nashville released, Star Spangled Street.
Yeah, I love this one.
Yeah, this one was really fun. I actually was the one that model stitched this one. And the funny thing is, when you design something and decide to model stitch it, you change your mind a lot. And so, like, I changed colors, I changed the way houses looked. I think I unpicked more than I stitched on this one by the time I was done, but I love how it turned out. And it is almost all over dyed floss. There are a few DMC colors. We stitched it on 25 count mushroom. And then this tray, actually, I found at Hobby Lobby, and it's like, or not Hobby Lobby, Home Goods. And it's just like the perfect little size.
Yeah, it is.
So, and I didn't add too much embellishments because I wanted it to be pretty simple and the colors to pop. So, and they are more of like Americana colors. So, next one is another Nashville release. This is Happy Independence Day. And this is also over-dyed floss we used. And Emily model stitched this one. And I asked my dad if he would custom make a frame for me for this stitch. So we gave him the idea to put the 1776, and we wanted some stars. He did it out of walnut, and it's all hand carved.
So pretty. I know people are going to ask, are you going to eventually sell his frames?
Yes, we actually have sold some of these.
Okay.
He is making more. Since they are hand carved, it's not something he can mass produce, but we have sold some, and we will be having some more in the near future. He's working on the next batch. So,
Okay.
yeah. All right. So this next piece was actually my favorite release for Nashville. I am a huge fan of Halloween, and I could just design Halloween all the time because I love it so much. But this is The Witch Next Door. And I wanted to do a fun play on a witch that might live next door to you. She has a normal looking house, but if you kind of peek into her windows, you might see some potion making. And then, of course, she has her clothes hanging on the line. So, whoops, there we go. And then her cute cat and some pumpkins. This is all over-dyed floss on this one. And I picked over-dyed on this one because there are large spaces of coverage.
Mm-hmm.
And I really feel the over-dyed gives it a really aged look.
Mm-hmm.
And I wanted it to look aged. I wanted it to look that way. So it is on 27 count light taupe Linda cloth. And Mom model stitched this one for me, and she has said many times she couldn't put this one down. It was really fun to stitch. So
Yeah, I love how it has so many different motifs going on in it.
yeah, I had so much fun designing it. And the finishing, we actually found this metal. It's a scalloped frame or tray. I mean, it's a tin, and it just finishes the piece really well. So.
And on your patterns, do you list where you get your finishing, or like where they can find it, or not?
No.
No. Okay.
So we're trying to, going forward, do that because we get that asked a lot, and it's hard because sometimes we find things like we have a local store here that's like just a local home decor store, and like that's where I found that metal tray. So, but I'm writing some patterns right now, and I'm trying to list if we did it into a pillow, like which fabrics we used and things like that. And the frames that my dad has designed, I have listed that, but the Hobby Lobby things we don't always
Right.
list. So yeah. Okay, so the next one, the Toil and Trouble. This was also a Nashville exclusive, and I love designing this one. I love doing wording. It's really fun. So it just says double, double, toil and trouble, fire, burn, and cauldron bubble. We stitched this on 14 count Stormy Night, Ada, and then it's DMC. And this metal tray frame thing is from Hobby Lobby, and they still have this, I believe. So This one was really fun. And we just magnetized it so we can switch this out if we want.
So, and then now I have Snow Friends, and I'll show you two. You tell me if I need to move it or not.
So come this way.
So this one right here was sample stitched. It was on 25 count vintage country mocha. And this chart, I actually, so we have a picture on the front and the back. This one is on the back of the chart, more of the traditional like Christmas colors. And then I also have, and so we have both colorways in the chart, so you can pick either one that you like. And then I have more of the pinks and greens, and this is on 28 count light ash gray. So we've listed both, all the information on the back of the chart, and then you can see on the chart that we have both pictures, and you do, inside of it has both ways to stitch it. Yeah, both colorways. So, and we just finished this one into a pillow. Let's see. And then, let's see, maybe I'll have you hold two of those up. Okay. So then I have, this is the, I came out with this last year and I continued this series. So this is the original. This is White Christmas. And let's see. So there's 4 of them that come on this one. And we just finished them with like little embroidery hoops. And I painted them white and then just did a little bow and put a button on there. Those are
So cute.
So that's the original 4. And so then I decided to continue it. And I released 4 more at Nashville.
They're so cute. And
Can you show the back? Because I know everybody's going to want to see the back of those.
Yeah. Yep. We can do that. Yep. So
is that felt?
Felt.
yeah.
Yes.
Yep. I just like traced the embroidery hoop and then I just glued it on the very edge of it. So
Looks good.
I can't tell which one's the snowman. So you have the snowman, Santa's mailbox, a gingerbread house, girl. What else is on there? Oh yeah, the 3 birdhouses.
These are great little ornaments.
Yeah, and I made a little cross stitch tree this year and I put them all on there with all my other stuff that I have. And those were all stitched on 16 count graceful gray. So, and that was for all the first set and the second set that I did.
Yeah, I love those. They're really fun. So the next one, this is also a series that I have, and it's like Subway art. This was the Nashville release, and I love designing this one. It's full of really fun, bright colors, which is what makes my heart happy, is like really bright, happy colors. And it's all DMC. And let's see, we stitched this on 25 count white. And I picked, we've showed a lot of stuff on white, but the reason I feel like I like white is it really makes the piece pop. And I don't know if it's the quilter in me, because I love making quilts with white background fabric. It's kind of like I've moved that into my cross stitching because I just love how it looks. It is scary stitching on white because it's hard if you have dark colors and have to unpick. It can sometimes stain the cloth. But the finished look is just so like bright, and I love that. So this frame I found at Michael's. I believe it's a 14 by 14 frame, and all of my Subway art is about the same size. So.
And are you doing a stitch along with this one?
Yes. So we are stitching this in May.
Yes.
May.
All May we're doing this one. And Katie is actually stitching it on 32 count. It is so tiny. Yeah. I just love it. But this is on 25. So there you go. And I wanted to show the other 2 that I have in this series. And I have gotten requests to do more. So this is Halloween. And we stitched this on 25 count Stormy Lugana with DMC. So this one was so much fun to design. My aunt did the model stitching on this for me. And as you can see, I love the bright Halloween colors too. I love both, you know, the more muted and the bright when it comes to Halloween. So this one was a lot of fun.
So when you frame those, are you putting those on sticky board? Do you use batting?
So we are not professional framers, but I like to use illustration board.
Okay.
It comes on really big sheets.
Okay.
And she has done the threading where you thread it.
Uh-huh.
For these ones, I have not threaded it. I just put it in there, put the back on, and sometimes I need to like fix it and tighten it, but I'm really bad at framing.
Well, no, I mean, I think everyone does it their own way, and everyone, you know,
Yeah.
they always want to know exactly how you do it. So,
Yeah. And it's funny, I just came upon the illustration board by chance because the sticky board, it, for some reason, I didn't like how I couldn't get like huge, really huge sheets. And the illustration board, you can get like massive sheets. And I just use my rotary cutter and ruler, and that's how we cut out the sizes we need. And that's how we mount all of our cross stitches when we do them like this. It's on the illustration board. So.
and where can people find out information on your summer word stitch along?
They can go on our Instagram at Primrose Cottage Stitches, and we have it there.
Okay.
And we also have a newsletter that she sends out with that information. So every week she will send out, oh, we're stitching it this part this week, and it will also be on the Instagram. So.
Awesome.
And then the last one in the this series is All American. This was actually the first one I designed. And this one is on Vintage Country Mocha with DMC as well. And I did more of, rather than like the more darker Americana colors, I did brighter colors, and I did use one over dyed floss, which is the Weeks Louisiana hot sauce, for the red. I just love that color. It's a great color for 4th of July stitching. So, and again, we just framed this one. It's from Michael's. The frames I usually get are from Michael's. We, here in Little Southern Utah, do not have a Hobby Lobby, which is very sad because we know everyone, the stitchers love Hobby Lobby, and so do we. So it's fun to go there. Okay, Christmas Barn. This was another Nashville release, and let's see, we stitched this on the Vintage Country Mocha, and it's mostly DMC, but the barn we used Weeks Turkish Red for the barn, which gives it a really variegated, nice, old-looking barn feel. The finishing on this was so much fun. I didn't really have a plan, but I loved this check or gingham, whatever you want to call it, but I think this was a My Mind's Eye line from Riley Blake, and then I added this cute little tag, and then I got some twine because I wanted it to feel rustic, and added a cute little ornament. And I have been asked where I got the ornament. This was a find a few years ago, and I think it was either Hobby Lobby or Joann's. But any ornament would look super cute on it.
Yeah, and I know Walmart had some ornaments very similar
Yeah.
to that this year.
And oh, okay, yeah. So it could have been Walmart too. So, really fun. Oh, were we showing this one?
It was on the list.
Oh. Okay, so I have little smaller charts. I call them my stamps. And they usually come in sets of 3. And for some reason I have this on my list, but it's the Let It Snow.
This was
a
really
bestseller.
popular. Yeah, this one everyone was going.
And the colors are kind of dark, but this is a blue, right? Yeah, it's a darker blue. And my stamps, they come on these little cards.
It's like a postcard.
It's a postcard size. And the series, and I have some more to show as we go, but this one was in the Christmas one. So there's that.
And we have some questions coming in on the illustration board. They're wanting to know, is it acid free? Do you hot glue on it, or do you use spray adhesive?
We use hot glue.
Okay.
As far as the acid free, I believe it is, but I would check because there's different brands. I have found the larger sheets I have found at Joann's, like the big sheets. They're kind of where the poster board is, and they're nice and thick. And just look at the label and make sure. And then Michael's, they have them as well, but I've noticed theirs are not as big, and they're a different brand. So just check and make sure.
And Hobby Lobby has it too. Because I have a Hobby Lobby that's by me. I'm in Las Vegas, and they sell it in the art department, and it's not as large either.
Yeah. Joann's is where I have found, like, it's poster board size sheets.
Yeah.
So.
All right. So now I have. You'll have to tell me if I'm saying
Okay,
it.
I'll move it over here.
So this is Carrot Farm, and this was stitched on 14 count touch of gray. And I did use, most of it is DMC, but I did use for the truck and the border is Gentle Arts and Weeks. So this was actually one of my favorite ones to design. And the board, I think I got this at, it was Hobby Lobby or Michael's, and I just painted it white. And then, as you can see, just layered with fabric, added the rickrack. I don't make bows. My mom actually made the bow. I don't know how to make bows. I can do just a basic one, and then I just added, the greenery and stuff. And I stapled the greenery onto the board. So there's that one.
So this is part of her truck series, and right now, how many trucks do you have?
There is 4, and I actually do have more coming out. I should have maybe brought one for a sneak peek, but I didn't. So this is Patriotic Picnic, and this is also DMC and Weeks. So I usually always try to pick a dyed floss for the truck, just because I like to show. I don't add a lot of details in the truck, and so I liked it to have that look of an old truck. And this was stitched. So on the chart, it's actually a T-dye. So I'll actually show you the chart or the pattern. This one. So this one is actually just a dyed fabric that we did ourselves. And this one is stitched on 28 count light ash gray. So I do like both of them. Since we don't sell our own dyed cloth, Country Mocha would be a great alternative if you're looking off of the chart. So
I like both color.
I do too. Yeah,
it's interesting. I like to see when charts are stitched on different fabrics. It gives it a whole new look.
Yeah.
So I really enjoy seeing the different.
This board I did get at Hobby Lobby, and I painted it blue, just a navy color. And then we do the same type of finishing with all of those. I do the boards at Hobby Lobby. I don't know if you guys are familiar. They have a unfinished wood section, so that's usually where I find a lot of the boards, and I'll just paint them or do what I need to. And that's what I did with this one. So it was just a natural piece of wood, and I stained it. This is called Pumpkin Patch, And I did DMC on this one, and I do have Weeks and Gentle Art in this one as well. I stitched this on 28 count mushroom Lugana, and I did it with a covered button. That's actually been a lot of fun to learn how to do that. And we just did the fabric and the little pom-poms for the finish. And yeah, if you want to keep that stuff on top, if you have a board, just use a staple gun. It's great, but make sure you wear safety goggles if you're doing that. I would hate for something to happen. So, and then the last one that I have right now is the Christmas Tree Farm. And this has quite a bit of different floss in it. This was actually my very first release that I had. And so I used a lot of different floss. I have Classic, Colorworks, Weeks, Aura Floss, and I do have some DMC in it. This was stitched again. This was a dyed fabric we did, but a good alternative would be the 25 count Country Vintage Mocha. But this was originally stitched on 14 count. And this tobacco basket, we found this at Michael's, I believe, and it already had the greenery, and we just added some of the berries in it to give it a little bit of more pop and color. And I think this was where the red fabric is, that was probably had words on it, and we just covered it with a piece of fabric. So.
And when you're stitching on, when you're stitching on 25 count, you're stitching over 2. But people are also wondering, do you stitch 1X at a time, or are you, when you do the truck, are you doing 1X at a time or in a row?
I actually do 1X at a time. Okay. I know a lot of people, actually, I think my sister Emily kind of goes, like you said, they do one line at a time and then go back. Mm-hmm. I've never tried it. I should, I just haven't tried it.
Well, I think the way that you do it is the correct way, and it shows more variegation.
Yeah. And I do find, and I'm sure other people have found this, but if you are going to stitch like the truck or the houses, like try to don't like go left to right and then all of a sudden change it and go up and down. You will have a completely different look with that dyed floss. So you want to keep going the same direction throughout your project, unless you want it to have that look. You can do that, obviously, but if you want it to look all the same direction, you're going to want to stick with one direction.
Yeah. Okay, so next, I do have my Easter stamps. So yes, they do come in a set of 3, and it's 3 different cards.
Do you want me to hold one
if you want to hold. Mm-hmm. So we have Happy Easter, Hippity Hop, and On the Hunt. These are so much fun and so easy. They stitch up in an afternoon. You can easily stitch these. I like to use, since they are so small, I like to do the DMC just because you're not getting like, there's not a ton of coverage that I feel like the overdyed floss, you don't need that necessarily. And I like to keep it affordable for people as well. So it's all DMC, and all 3 stamps I like to use the same, obviously, color scheme. So you just have to buy the floss once, and it usually does all 3 projects.
Yeah.
And what fabric are those on?
These are on 25 count white Lugana. And Mom did the finishing, I think this is a Lori Holt print and she patched it with some felt. So.
And I don't think we really mentioned, I forgot to, we don't really do a lot of fancy stitches in our stuff. It's usually just the basic cross stitch. You will see a little bit of back stitch and French knots. That's like the
That's
extent.
as far as I go.
Yeah.
I think people appreciate that.
Yeah. Well, I think
I appreciate it too.
Yeah. And because I don't even know French knots. I actually have to give it to my mom. I'm like, can you do this? I've tried, I've practiced, I've watched tutorials, and I just stink at doing it. So
yeah.
But okay, so I have a couple of little minis that I've released, and this one's called Mayflowers. And I also have Home Tweet Home.
I love these. They're so fun for spring. Come this way.
There you go.
Okay. And what did I stitch these on? Let's see. Okay, so Mayflowers this is Mayflowers, and this one was stitched on 28 count ice blue Lugana. And it does have several colors in it just because I didn't want to, I do have the watering can that is Gentle Arts, just because it's a little bit bigger. And then the flowers, I did 2 for each color just because I wanted it to look a little dimensional. And then this one is Home Tweet Home, and it has little birdhouses. And this was stitched on 28 count light ash gray, and it's all DMC. So, and I got this little, I don't know if you can still find them, but I got it at Michael's, and a lot of my little mini ones that you'll see, you can usually just pop it in and out. So it just comes in and out. So, and I paint, it was just an unfinished piece, and I painted it white.
Okay, so for Easter, I did Easter greetings, and we have this cute little bunny wearing, I love his little glasses. My mom actually found a piece, I believe, at Hobby Lobby, and it had a bunny with these square glasses, and I'm like, oh my gosh, he's just adorable. And that's kind of where I got my inspiration. And he has a crate of carrots, and he's got his chicks. We used all DMC floss on this, and it's on 27 count ice blue Linda cloth. And then we did a pillow finish with some rickrack and fabric. Sorry, it's on this side, I guess. And a fun bow and a covered button. We have recently discovered, well, not recently, but I love covered buttons. They add a really fun touch to your project. And you can match it to your project really easily. So makes it really fun. So this,
something happened to our screen. I'm not sure what. Uh-oh, technical difficulties. Okay, so while we're figuring that out, people would like to know, do you use Q-snaps or do you stitch in hand? Yeah, it's okay. We can hear you, so just keep talking. Hold on a second. Oh, okay. They're saying for you to reconnect to the link that we had real quick. There you go. Perfect. Okay, so yeah.
Tension hoop. I like to use the smaller size because I find it really difficult to use a large hoop. I don't like having that much hoop for some reason. And I feel like it really keeps my tension correct. I have tried stitching in hand, and I feel like I tend to go really tight with my stitches.
And so I actually, most of the time I stitch in hand, but just literally recently, I started stitching the summertime one for our stitch along, and I decided to do a hoop, and I'm actually loving it. So with the smaller projects, I'll probably keep doing it in hand, but with those larger ones, just like for the reason of keeping the tension right, because that is something with my hand. Sometimes I'm tighter and sometimes I'm a little looser, and so it's harder with those bigger ones to make it all look cohesive.
So Mom, she does probably 90% of our sample or model stitching, and she does the sew method, and that is how she can stitch
in hand.
So fast. She does the sew method, and her preferred cloth is 25 and 27 count when she does the sew method. She finds it really difficult to do the sew method for some reason on like the higher, the 32, 36. Oh, yeah. So she likes to keep it on the 25 and 28.
I think
so that's why a lot of our stuff is on those cloths.
Yeah, I think on the higher counts, when you're doing the sew method, it's just hard because you have more thread trying to cover like a little tiny spot, and it's just harder to get the tension right.
Yeah. So,
and y'all have mentioned the 27 count Linda a lot, so we'll have to stock up on some of those colors because...
So actually, Christy, Java Girl Stitches, she introduced us to the Linda count.
Okay.
The Linda cloth. And I was like, okay, let's try it. And we did, and Mom loves it. In fact, she says she prefers stitching on the Linda cloth.
Okay. So we'll have to get some more of that.
Yeah. Yep. Okay. So this year I'm a quilter at heart, and I wanted to do a monthly stitch that was the theme of the month. And I wanted to incorporate like my quilting background. So I did what's called the 9-patch series. I'm going to grab our little basket here. And these are perfect for like a bread bowl. We displayed them at Quilt Market, or not at Quilt Market, Nashville Needlework Market, in a bread bowl. And it was so fun.
And they actually have them at Hobby Lobby. They're huge,
they're massive,
long, skinny, really pretty. They have white and natural wood.
Okay, so I released them in 3s. So we have January, February, and March. And the tutorial and the dimensions of the fabric to cut and everything is on, come this way, is on our YouTube channel. So you can finish it exactly like we did. So, and I kept the floss at a minimum because, you know, these smaller projects, you don't want like 15 colors of floss. Like, I feel like, you know, it's okay to not have so much. So,
let's see, this is
April,
May, and then June.
It's so cute. I love the quilting fabric that you coordinated with the floss.
Yeah. That was a lot of fun because, like I said, quilting, that's where I started, and I get a lot of my inspiration from quilting. And so, and you know, I love fabric, and I'm sure as you do, its fabric is fun, and pairing it with my cross stitches is even more fun. So, these are brand new. They just got released July, August. Whoops, that one's upside down. And September. Oops. Sorry.
The other way.
Other way, this way. For
Right
some
there.
reason.
It's because I'm like opposite of her.
Yeah, that's how
And
the
looking
camera
at the
is.
screen,
It's
it's
opposite.
backwards.
Yeah.
And then our last ones will be October, November, December, and those come out in July, I believe.
I think so.
So you'll have the whole series ready to go, so you have plenty of time to get them all ready for every month.
Yeah.
Okay,
Just
I'll
sit
just
it
put it
wherever.
right
Yep.
And those come on the little cards.
Yeah.
So they're great. They're small and easy to put. Like, you can take these anywhere. And if you mess up, it's not that big of a deal because you're not unpicking huge sections. So these are a great project to take on the go. So
And do you have
did
some...
want to...
Oh, go ahead.
Go ahead.
Go ahead. No, you go ahead.
Well, I had some sneak peeks of the next
Okay.
stamps.
Perfect.
So I thought I was done with the series, but for some reason I thought I wasn't the other couple weeks ago. So I did 4th of July or Patriotic. So these will be out next month. So we have United We Stand.
And these are really bright, red and blue.
So established 1776. And Land That I Love.
And those are going to be postcard stamps, right? The little stamp size.
Yeah. So they're so much fun to stitch and design.
Awesome.
So
Okay, so I'm going to go through some of the questions that have come in throughout, and then I'm going to go to my questions. So as our customers have questions, just ask them and we'll add them. So on the Linda cloth, I think I know the answer, but is that an even weave fabric?
yes.
Yes.
It
Okay.
is even weave.
And we do
I
stitch
have
2 over 2.
I have stitched on it, and I want to say it's a little it's not as thick as like your 25 or 28 count. I feel like it's a little thinner, and it's a little softer, at least in the light taupe that my mom likes to use. It's pretty soft. So
I'll have to try it. And then we have some people asking what the sewing method is. So do y'all want to describe it?
I can't really describe it. Well, you don't go
like
down and then up.
Yeah.
You put your needle like you're sewing stitches.
Yeah.
So Lori
Yeah.
Holt, I think, has a tutorial on that, or at
And
least
I
a
think-
video.
Well, I think when I first started cross stitching, you guys also have a tutorial on that. I think the sewing method.
Yeah, I think so.
So
Yeah. That's how I
I
get so
would
much
look
done.
up a tutorial because
We don't stitch that way.
I don't. I find it. I feel like personally, because I have tried it. Like when I first started, I feel like my stitches are crisper looking when I finish my stitch. Like
Right.
go all the way up, all the way down.
Yeah.
But you know, it's what makes sense for you and how you like to do it. So
Yeah,
Mom,
totally agree.
that's how she was taught, is the sew method. And she's been doing handwork for a lot of years, her whole life.
Yeah.
So
The most recent pillows you showed, are those 4x4? 4 inches square or?
Well, it's
the stamps.
The stamps.
so the not okay. Is it the
I
9
think
patch
the
or the stamp?
Americana.
Oh, okay.
Oh, okay, the stamps. So the stamps are all the same size. The stitch count is 43 by 43.
Okay.
And on 25 count, I think it's a little over 3 inches
Okay.
is the finished size. And yeah.
Tell us within your company, who does the designing? I mean, obviously, like we just saw half of Lindsay's designs, half of Katie's designs, but what do the other sisters do? You talked a little bit about
Yeah.
what your mom does.
Yeah, so we call ourselves the Primrose Dream Team.
That's cute.
Because it's a whole team of
It's
us.
a whole team. We couldn't do it without each other. It's all of our family. We all do a little something. Like you said, Katie and I, we design. And then Katie, she's our cross stitch representative. So she does a lot of the...
Like, so I deal with a lot of the shops when they want to have the patterns carried in their shop. I deal directly with them. And Emily, she actually deals with a lot of our retail customers. But each of us, like, when we design do something like this, every single one of us has a part in doing it. Like, she designs it, and like, I'll proof it. Emily proofs it. She ships it. Mom stitches it.
And Emily is actually really good at color theory because she has a background in it. And I like to get her input when I am picking colors because she is really good at that. So I tend to, if I'm not sure about a certain color palette, I'll be like, Emily, come tell me what you think of this. And then, of course, Mom, we couldn't do it without Mom. She's, the most important part of the team. And she pretty much, like I said, she does like 90% of our samples, our models. I for some reason I call it samples, but I know it's models.
Yeah.
And, yeah.
So we'll sometimes we'll stitch our own stuff.
I don't like doing it.
But I really don't like it because then I'll change. I'll change this. I'll fix this, and I'm like, nope. I already spent hours
designing
it. It's fine.
So it's funny. She likes to she'll stitch my designs.
Yeah.
Because you don't as a designer, you tend to at least I do, as I overthink it as I'm stitching it. I'm like, oh, that might look better if I take out that stitch. And then it's like, oh, you're having to adjust. And so it's really nice to not stitch my own things. I like to give them to somebody else, and then I'll take their input and fix things that need to be fixed. Otherwise, like I said, I end up unpicking more than I stitch.
And tell us a little bit about your quilt patterns and kind of how that started.
Okay, so I originally started designing. Well, my mom taught me how to quilt, and she had learned from a family friend, and I kind of did it as a an outlet to kind of, you know, because I had three small children. I needed a place to go where I could clear my head and just enjoy my alone time, and that ended up being quilting. And I've always loved designing, drawing. I doodle on everything. Nothing, as you can see, nothing is safe when I have paper. Nothing.
All the calendars that we grew up with had doodles.
My mom has always said I never could keep a clean calendar because every day had a doodle in it. And so it just turned into designing quilt patterns. Designing is what makes my heart happy. I love the fact that people actually want to make something I've designed. I've never found another thing that feels so awesome as that, oh my gosh, somebody likes my stuff enough to make it. And so that never gets old.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And she just has recently started designing, and so.
And I have the same thoughts and feelings about that. It's the same way. It's like, it's I don't know the
gratifying.
word. Yeah, but it's just like, I don't know what to say. It's just, I don't know. It just warms your heart. I don't know what to say, but it's like, it's just so exciting and fun to see. And it's
a great, it's the community of it.
Yeah.
Also, it's not just, oh, I love to stitch. It's a community as well, like in quilting and cross stitching. It's like this friendship and this group of like-minded creative souls that just love the same things you do, and I get the chills just thinking about it every time. Uh-oh.
And how did you come up with the name Primrose Cottage?
So I wish I had like an interesting story about that. But when I came up with the name, I was really I remember we had just bought our first house, and I wanted a cottage garden. And me and my husband, we spent so much time making our new home, like the yard, into a cottage garden. We had the white picket fence, we had the cottage type flowers, and that's pretty much how I came up with the name. So it was during that time, and I was just really influenced by that, I think. And so, yeah.
And then Jennifer's asking if we will have a set of the monthly 9-patch, and we will when all 12 are out. What count of Ada did you use on the 9-patch series?
The 9-patch is all Lugana, so we wanted to keep it all 25 count. So all the pillows are the same size. So we use different colors, but we use 25 count for each design.
Okay.
But 14 count Ada is a great alternative as well. So, yeah.
And do you ever design cross stitch and quilt patterns that are matchy-matchy?
I am working on something that is going to be like that. I'm hoping to have it for next year. So it is something to look forward to. And actually, one of my most popular quilt patterns is a 4th of July one called Let Freedom Ring. And it is one that I've wanted to convert into a cross stitch pattern. I do have one that is released. It's called Boo Bash, and it was originally a quilt pattern that we converted into a cross stitch pattern. It was my first release, actually. So,
Katie, we have some questions. They want to know a little bit about like what kind of paint do you use when you talked about painting your different things. Is there anything to know about the paint you used?
No, I usually just use like the Delta or the Folk Art, which you can just pick up in any craft section.
Okay.
And usually I have to put a couple of coats on because I like my stuff like covered and have that finished look. If I want it to look like aged or something, sometimes I'll sand it, a little bit to rough it up. But that's all I do. I just pick out what color I think looks best, and I'll usually pick a couple because if it doesn't look good, just paint over it and start over. So.
And when you're designing, do you use like a computer program? Do you hand draw it?
So we both have different methods.
Yeah.
I am a straight from the brain to computer type of person. And I use a computer program. MaxStitch is what I prefer. That's the only program I've used. So I'm not sure if there's others. And Katie.
Yeah. So I'll usually draw it first, and it's not like I don't have like way artistic abilities in drawing, but I'll like try to sketch out the best that I can, and then I'll transfer it over into the computer. But it just kind of gives me an idea on how to like for shapes and things like that, and to putting it into the computer. And I use the same program that she uses, which I really like. It's pretty user friendly. So.
Yeah.
What was like your favorite moment from Needlework Market? Like, what did you learn from going to that?
Oh my gosh, like
That was so much fun.
probably our favorite moment was, well, there was just so many. It was
The whole time.
is being face to face with people again and meeting shop owners in person, and then you guys seeing the actual pieces in person is so inspiring. I came back just feeling like this rush of inspiration and just the talent and meeting other designers. At one point we had the last day and the last few hours of the show, it's pretty slow because people are checking out of their hotel, and we had several other designers come into our room, and it was like this magic moment.
Yeah.
I was like, what is happening? I feel so like
It was so
it was
neat.
so neat to meet other like-minded people and creative souls.
Yeah.
Where can people find your dad's frames?
So right now we just list them in our personal Etsy shop.
Okay.
He is working on his own little shop, and we hope to get him set up soon. For most up-to-date information of when we release his frames, because they are released in batches since they are handmade, is through our newsletter. And you can sign up for the newsletter if you follow us on Instagram. The link is in our bio. You can just click right on that. And that's Katie sends it out every Thursday and gives like the most up-to-date information on what we're doing here at the Primrose Cottage.
Yeah.
And y'all talked about, using quilting to relax. What are other things, like other hobbies you have or other things you like to do to relax?
So I am really into audiobooks because my peaceful, relaxing time is at the end of the day. I'm winding down. I put in my audiobook and I stitch. And some of my favorite audiobook authors, I wrote them down in case anyone asked.
Right here.
Kristen Hanna, Kate Klin, and Andy Weir. I just love listening to books. It's very relaxing. And
So I do enjoy doing that too. And then some of my other outlets that I really like to do is I actually really love to cook and bake and try new recipes. It's therapeutic kind of for me. And then, also listening to the audiobooks and sitting and cross stitching. And I do actually, I go in spurts. So there are like a lot of times I'm totally like, okay, I want to listen and read all day long. And then, but I also like to binge Netflix. Like, who doesn't like to do that sometimes? And so, book wise, I have we have similar taste in books.
yeah.
some of my favorite shows like that are recently, This Is Us. I'm so sad it's ending. And I love Grey's Anatomy, Yellowstone. Those are some of my favorite shows I'll binge and watch. So, yep.
From each of your designs, can you pick your favorite that you designed and then the favorite of what your sister designed?
So pick some of each other's stuff.
Okay,
Yeah.
so my favorite personal is a no-brainer for me is my Witch Next Door. And the reason is I love Halloween. And I could just design Halloween all day long. I could make Halloween quilts all day long. It's my favorite thing ever. My favorite design of Katie's, I would probably have to say her Carrot Farm. I just really love the colors. It's really bright and happy. And then her new Snow Friends in the bright colorway. Mm-hmm. This is totally my jam right here. So I love the bright and happy.
Yeah. For Lindsay's, I wish we had it here, but I don't. It's the Christmas rules. I don't know if the pattern.
Yeah, right here.
Yeah. This is probably one of my favorites of hers. And I'm actually stitching this right now, and I'm doing it on 25 count Country Mocha. So, I love that one. I love Christmas. That's one of my favorite holidays, so I love stitching everything Christmas. And then one of my favorites that I've done is actually, where is it? The Home Tweet Home. That's probably one of my favorites. I love how small and cute it is. I don't know where it is.
Did I put it
Oh,
over
it's
here?
probably over there.
Oh, yeah, Mom.
But it's just small. It's cute. I love birdhouses.
Yeah.
So
They're fun.
and I love stitching mini. I love the mini stuff because it is so quick. It's like so gratifying to start and finish something. Don't get me wrong, I love the bigger ones too, but it's like that takes more time and effort. And if I'm like, I just want to whip something up and like finish it, I can. So it
It's
feels
like instant gratification.
yes, you know that world we live in now.
Yeah. We have a lot of people who watch our show that are quilters and, you know, maybe they haven't dipped their toe in cross stitch yet. Do you have any tips for new cross stitchers?
Yeah, actually, we kind of talked about this the other day, in fact. And with anything, start small. Mm-hmm. Don't pick a piece that's full coverage, in my opinion, to start. Pick something that's doable. In fact, my sister-in-law, she just started into cross stitching, and I sent her my mini stamps or my 9 patches. And it's a great little project to start with. Start with Ada. And if you want, you can work up. But Ada is amazing too. I still stitch on Ada sometimes, and it's just really easy to learn on.
And that's how we started. We started with 14 count Ada, and we did 16 and 18, and now we're 25, 27, 32. And we all enjoy stitching. I could still stitch something on 14 count. But we've learned do what you love too.
Yeah.
So as a beginner, start small
And
work
then
up.
almost the most important thing is good lighting. In fact, I will travel with a lamp if I have to.
Yeah. Definitely.
Because it's just so important, and it makes the world of difference when you're stitching.
And something that I have to have, and you know, all of these things are really inexpensive. A needle minder, a pair of good scissors, and a design board. I love the design board. I'll put my needle minder on there. And then my scissors can hook to it, my needle, put my floss on there. My favorite thing in the world.
Mm-hmm.
And do y'all have a preference on like brand of fabric you work with?
I use whatever she buys.
I honestly no. I am like an equal. Like, I'm willing to try anything. I don't really have a specific brand that I like gravitate towards. I more gravitate towards a color rather than a brand. And so I would say we probably stitch on Witch Elt the most. If Witch Elt, I don't know if that's the correct brand, but
What travel lamp do you use?
So Mom has this cute little pink light, and I think we've all used it. It's just a small one, and it's perfect for what we do.
Jacqueline wants to know, who are your favorite designers?
Oh man, that's really hard to say because
I feel like there is a favorite design from each designer that I could stitch. Really.
yes.
It's hard to pick.
I will say, like, at Nashville Needlework Market, I was just blown away by, and this is the stitch I am picking to stitch from Market, and it's called This Is the Day by Plum Street Samplers.
Mania. You said Market.
From Nashville Market.
Oh yes, from Nashville, but for like
This Is the Day. It's a pink house, which pink is my favorite color, and since I don't have a pink house in real life, I can stitch one. And I've kitted it up, and I am ready to start. I am really excited about it. Emily is also stitching it, so as far as favorite designer, I couldn't pick just one. There's just so many good designers out there.
There is. One of the favorite ones that I'm gonna stitch is it's by Heart and Hand, and it's the Hummingbird Sampler. So I just thought it was just so cute, and it's all one color, which I've been dying to do a cross stitch in all one color. She has it in a green color, so I may stick with that, or I might pick one that I like, a color that would go with my decor.
Do your patterns work in Pattern Keeper? I don't know what that is.
Yeah, I am not super familiar with Pattern Keeper. Like my larger charts, I do try and save an additional PDF format that is just the chart, and I have gotten some feedback that it works, but I don't think all of my charts work because the way I design them, I don't design, like when I format my charts, I don't think it's in a compatible format, if that makes sense. And I'm not super familiar with Pattern Keeper.
On the Mania, what we were talking about, like, how do y'all break up Mania? Do you do it like by day, by hours, by project? How do y'all tackle that?
So I have learned personally, I can only stitch on one project at a time. Like I can't be switching projects throughout the day or even the week usually, because I get overwhelmed, and then I feel like I can't finish anything. And so I have actually learned, and it's only been within the last about 6 months, I would say, is I only work on the project I just started, and I have finished more things doing that. And so my Mania is I am picking This Is the Day, and it's a large thing, so I'm going to be stitching that all month.
So, and me, I will be stitching a couple of things, but I'm the same way. I don't like to stitch multiple projects in a day. If I do, it's only because I like kind of set a goal of what I wanted to stitch, like if it was a certain section, and if I finish it, if I want to keep going, I will, but if I'm like, okay, I'm done with that, then I'll move on. But I'm going to probably work on 3. So we're doing the summertime stitch along, so I'll be doing that. I'm also going to be doing the Heart and Hand Hummingbird Sampler, and then the Winter Rose Manor with Thy Needle and Thread. That's something that I have already started, but I would love to finish it this year, and so I will be working on that as well.
Mom, on the other hand, she is a multiple stitcher. She can go from project to project. It's like she just whips them out like you wouldn't believe. Like she is like an amazing stitcher, and so she can easily go from project to project, and in fact she will probably kit up several for Mania.
when y'all are designing, do you ever have like creative roadblocks? And if you do, how do you like bust through that?
Yeah.
That's a hard one.
It happens.
It happens to me quite a bit because I call it the flow, and I'm sure other designers have experienced this where you get in a flow where it's just easily coming to you, and then all of a sudden it's like, oh my gosh, I have nothing. And the way I have found to get through it is I plan a small trip, even if it's overnight somewhere. I unplug from all devices and I do something that I want to do that has nothing to do with like work related, and I spend time with my family, and then usually I come back really refreshed and ready to design.
Yeah. So very similar, some of the same things. And I think too, what like helps me is sometimes even just coming to Lindsay's house. So they have like a huge studio upstairs and it's lined wall to wall with fabric. And it's sometimes just like even going to the craft store. Like I know that might sound kind of weird, but if I can see stuff that looks like just really fun and pretty to finish and do, like it's not even cross stitch necessarily. It's just looking at other creative stuff. Like I'll even just go watch FlossTubes. That's actually been the most recent thing because I like to see what people are stitching and I want to see what's new out there too, because like it's hard to stay on top of all of it. And so I do enjoy doing that. And that watching the FlossTube lately is what has helped me.
Inspiring.
It is. And it's like, oh, I just, you know, because there's so many different genres and things out there.
Well, it's awesome because it's like you watch these FlossTubes and it's like, oh, I want to stitch that and I want to stitch that and I want to stitch that. So,
do y'all have a preferred brand of needles?
yes.
Yeah.
I prefer Tulip brand. The size 26 is my preferred. Is it 26 or
I think it's 25 that we like.
25?
Yeah.
Either one of those.
Okay.
I have found it goes through the cloth very smooth.
Mm-hmm.
I have tried other brands and it's just, I don't mind them, but my go-to is the Tulip.
And they last forever. Like
Yes.
I rarely have
I don't bend them.
Yeah, I don't either. And I don't
Okay.
really ever have to replace them. The reason I have to restock them is because I have a couple like in every single project.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'll have to try those. I haven't tried those. Besides what we talked about earlier with the design board, what other notions would be like a must-have?
This isn't necessarily a notion, but I have a massive, well, it's not a massive, but it's one of those rolling carts right next to my stitchy corner, and I fill that thing full of cross stitch supplies. Also, my new favorite thing is the Lori Holt, the egg floss drop with the bee on it.
Mm-hmm.
Those are just so cute, and I have been bobbinating my floss. I am really bad at bobbinating my floss.
And I am a bobbinator.
I am not a bobbinator. But I am trying to be one.
I think y'all just created a new word, bobbinator.
It drives my sisters and my mom crazy because you guys are going to die. So if you have like, you know, your skein of DMC, I just pull what I need from the skein. I do not bobbinate it, and then I put it back in our little basket, and they're like, what is this, Lindsay?
It's
Is
trash.
it a full skein? Is it a half a skein? Like, what is this? And I'm like, I
Well,
don't
they
know.
lose their numbers too, so we're like, what is this?
Yeah, I can't. That
It
would
would
drive
be
me
somebody's
crazy.
worst nightmare.
Yeah, that would drive me crazy.
So I have been buying those floss drops to be better because, yeah.
I really, the needle minders, I know I mentioned earlier, but I love it because,
I do too.
and I will say, like, I have never lost a needle. Because
I
that is a fear of mine of like sitting on the couch and sitting on a needle or stepping on one. Like I do not want to do that. So those needle minders, if you don't have one, go get one.
I have needle minders and I lose needles all the time. Like,
oh really?
all the time. Because I just can't remember where I put it. Like, which needle minder did I put it on?
Yeah.
I lose needles. way too often to even.
So before we started, y'all showed me your dogs. Can I see your dogs? Because I think everybody would like
Yes,
to see
I'll
the little
have
doggies.
my mom go get the dogs.
Um,
She can't. She's plugged in. Can you go get the dogs? Yeah, she'll go upstairs and get them.
do y'all have any charts that are like on your bucket list, or like you would love to do, but no, you just like don't ever have the time to do it? Like, is there something on your list that's like just hanging out there?
So I discovered they're new to me designer from Needlework Market was Praiseworthy Stitches, I believe is the name. And they had, you can hear, sorry. Sorry, hang on, we'll show you the dogs real quick. So I have two dogs. Zoe, she is a Maltipoo. She's a little wound up right now.
Oh, she's so cute.
This is Zoe. She's, how old is she? Probably about 6. And this is Benny, and he is a lot of different breeds in one. We're not really sure. He has some Havanese, some Poodle, some Maltese, and they're my other kids.
Yeah.
I have 3 kids, and then these are my other kids.
Yeah. Whoops. And I have 2 dogs. They're not here, but they're and their names are Hugs and Kisses. So I have a Chihuahua, and the other one is a mix as well. She's like she has like a Yorkie, and what else is she? I can't even think what she is. Like, she's a huge mix of stuff too, but she's really small. And Shih Tzu. Shih Tzu Yorkie.
Shih Tzu, yeah.
And so but they're so fun.
So back to my bucket list is Praiseworthy Stitches. They have some amazing Halloween charts.
Yes.
That I was like, oh my goodness, if I could stitch those, I would. They're
beautiful.
massive, but they are beautiful.
Yeah, those are really pretty. Someone that I like found there too, and there were several. I'm like, honestly, if I could stitch everything of everybody, that would be the dream, right?
Right.
But
Yeah.
Bent Creek, she had some beautiful stuff. Like when we talked about just seeing the models in person, that is one company that, like, I was blown
went
away.
in there and I was like, I have to stitch all of this.
Yeah.
I have to stitch all of
Yeah.
her work because it's a designer that she speaks to me.
And I thought
her designs,
like, it had the primitive type of look, which I really love. So I have a hard time naming a chart. Like, it's like I have some of every single designer that I wish I could do, and I just don't have the time, unfortunately.
Who are some of your, like, maybe name 2 or 3 of your favorite floss tubers that you watch?
So we love. So, since I do have a quilty background, Crosshatch Quilts. I love her stuff, and it's so funny because she stitches some things that are not necessarily things that I would stitch, but her work is so beautiful.
She has a lot of samplers.
And then Lori Holt, we love watching Lori Holt. She's she's a Utah girl too, and we actually are from up northern Utah, and so, and then of course Java Girl, she's a Las Vegas native, and Katie lives in Las Vegas, and so we actually are going to see her this weekend, so we're really excited.
Oh, awesome. So Katie, do you have any different ones, or are they all the same?
I actually, very similar. And then I also, Teresa Koga, I love her stuff as well, and watching her. And then
she is so awesome in person. Like, I love talking
Yeah.
to her.
Yeah.
She
so
looks
nice.
like she is 30 years old. I don't know how old she
Yeah.
is, but I saw her and was like, whatever you're doing, can I have some of that?
Yeah,
Because she's
please.
like
I
so
agree.
nice, and
Yeah.
she's like no wrinkles. I just kept saying how pretty she was.
Yeah.
I would agree with
Yeah.
that. for sure.
Yeah. And then I actually just found this new floss tuber. I don't know if she's new, but she's new to me, and it's Sweetwater Stitcher, I think is what her name is. And I just love her finishes. She does such a good job. She's really fun to watch. So, yeah.
Awesome. So, tell all of our customers and viewers, like, how can they find you? What are all your, like, social media handles, YouTube, all of that?
So our stitching is Primrose Cottage Stitches on Instagram. That's the best place to find us. Katie updates the page all the time. For quilting, it's Primrose Cottage Quilts. And Emily does that page. And then our YouTube is Primrose Cottage Quilts. We do try and do floss tubes, but we're not super regular. We have a goal to be more regular. It's just so hard. Anything else? Any other handles? We have personal handles, but you can find those through our main pages.
Yeah.
And do you
We
have
put
any?
everything on them.
Do you have anything that our customers can look forward to for 2023?
I do. I have some secret projects that I can't really say much about going on in the background, some collaborations. So they're going to be in 2023. The rest of this year, we have so many fun things. We're working on a book.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Me and Katie, a Halloween inspired one. So
Yeah.
that's something that's later this year. And then I do have one last sneak peek. I have a series. It's my like Kisses and Wishes series, and probably one of the more popular ones we have. I have several different ones in the series, and I did a 4th of July one. So this will be out next month. It's Firework Kisses and 4th of July Wishes, I believe it says.
Yep.
So cute.
So this comes out next month. And then, like I said, we have there will be Expo in October.
Yep.
And we have several new designs coming out. Or not in October, in August.
Yeah,
We have several
end of
new
August.
designs coming out for that as well.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much for joining us today. I hope all of our customers like go out, buy your charts, and I hope we bring y'all lots of new customers.
Well, we are just so excited that we were invited on, and we're just so blessed that we have this opportunity to design and share our creativity. So
Well, thank you.
thank you.